Welcome back, everyone. Welcome. Yeah, I do got this Nike box right here. You see the white Nike all over the front. Do get the red all over this box, all over Nike on this box. This is nothing that we haven't seen. Regular Nike box. Only difference is they did give us this super long Nike box. I'm not sure why, y'all, but label does read Nike Air Griffey Max 1 Gray School. Colorway is black, multicolor, freshwater, and of course, this is a size 6. Now, opening up the lid, cardboard underneath, lot number in there somewhere. Do get my receipt paper. Get this white paper right here, of course. My paper is a little messed up, but that's here nor there, y'all. And I actually wanted to go after this shoe a couple years ago, but yeah, it was just too much dropping. But we do have the 2025 Nike Air Griffey Max 1 Freshwaters right here. Yeah. And this is definitely, a dope colorway in my opinion. Like, yeah, you can't go wrong with a pair of Griffeys, man. For sure, yeah. But let me give y'all a little bit of history on these before we take a closer look. So, the Nike Air Griffey Max 1 originally released in 1996 for Ken Griffey Jr., a 13-time All-Star, 10-time Golden Glove winner, retiring with 630 home runs of all time, who was a dominant force in the 90s. Now, this particular shoe was designed by Tracy Teague, who was also the designer of the Nike Air Maestro. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. And the Nike Air Griffey Max 2, which we definitely need a release of. Now, back in 1996, Griffey and Nike decided to do a presidential campaign ad, which was actually happening around election day time. And it basically was to promote the Nike Air Griffey Max 1, of course, which was Ken Griffey's first signature shoe at the time, which he wanted to be a performance shoe since that was around the time that he was actually playing for the Seattle Mariners. Now, this particular colorway right here, we have seen throughout the years. We've seen different retros, of course, with the first retro dropping in 2009. Then we had 2011, followed by 2016, and then followed by 2025. And of course, this is one of 3 OG colorways, which feature the Varsity Royal pair and, of course, the other freshwater pair, of course, which some people call Emerald. But nonetheless, that does not take away the fact that this is such an iconic trainer sneaker right here, as you guys can see. And a lot of trainers, believe it or not, back in the 90s actually went crazy. Of course, even with Ken Griffey Jr. becoming the face of baseball in the 90s. But that's here nor there, y'all. Now that you know some history on this particular sneaker, it's time to go ahead and get into the details. All right, y'all. So taking a look at these, you notice we do get this all black synthetic nubuck throughout the entire top portion, as y'all can see that. And do note that if you are around any dust particles, things like that, it will catch on to this particular nubuck right here, as y'all can see. Then you do get the teal synthetic nubuck as well on the top portion right here, as you guys can see. And I do like how it has like that wavy look, going on right here. I actually love that a lot, y'all, for the most part. Now you do also get some black nubuck right here along the eye stays of the lacing area as well, as you guys can see that for the most part. And then you do get this white leather swoosh, which is on the toe box. This is definitely one of my favorite parts of this particular sneaker. But you do get this ghillie style lacing system right here. You do get these nylon lace loops right here in black, as you guys can see. You do get it on the middle as well right here. You do get your standard white rope laces, of course. Then you do get this actual strap right here, which actually has Nike going across the front, of course, in black, and it is embossed, as you guys can see, for the most part. And then taking a look around this side, you do get that Velcro strap, of course, as you guys can see, and it does have the white 24 right there, and it does have that mini teal swoosh right there, as y'all can see. And this is a rubber material as well right here for the most part, and then of course your plastic clip right here, to tighten the shoe and things like that for the most part. And also, before I forget, you do get your mesh pull tab on the tongue, and you do get an all over black nylon tongue, as you guys can see that for the most part. But the mesh tab does have this swoosh right here, which is in red, and you do have some gray on the interior, and this is stitched in, as you guys can see that for the most part. Standard Nike Air Griffey Max 1, of course. Now, as you go into the heel of the shoe, you do get this black pull tab, of course. The Griffies do have two pull tabs, but you do have this pull tab right here, of course. And then on the much lower portion, you do get another swoosh right here, once again outlined in red with the gray in the middle portion, as you guys can see that for the most part. Nothing too crazy, but I do love the whole design as far as the top of the Griffies. Like, this is just such a dope colorway, y'all. But let's get into the interior. And let me actually unloosen these real quick. So, as you guys can see, you do get the manufacturing date on the back. Hopefully, y'all can see that. The manufacturing date is right there on the back. Y'all can see. Do get like this cushioning on the back. You do get this cushioning on the sock liner as well, which is done in all black. You do get your standard Huarache booty inner sleeve, of course, which is featured on models like the Jordan 7, the Jordan 8, and the Jordan 9, of course. And then if you take a look at the insole, you do get an all black insole with the Nike Air and the tag that does read upper contains synthetic leather, which is what I just showed y'all. And I'm not sure if this insole is actually a polyurethane insole or a dream cell, but it does feel super foamy, so I'm gonna guess that it's a polyurethane insole for the most part, you know what I mean? But with that being said, let's get into the bottom half. So taking a look at the midsole, you do get an all black midsole wrapping around, of course, as y'all can see. For the most part, you do get some hints of white, as you guys can see, all throughout the midsole. And you do get these visible bubble air units on the forefoot and the heel of the shoe, as you guys can see right there, right there, right there. Now, I know that these are not going to be as super large like the originals, but for the most part, at least they tried. At least they're visible, maybe to some people's liking for the most part, you know what I mean? And then as we take a look at the outsole, you do get this waffle trainer style outsole, of course. You do get hints of teal, you get hints of white, you get hints of black, of course. You do get your swoosh on the middle portion of the outsole, which is done in a rubber. And then on the back, you do get that famous baseball right there done in white, teal, and of course the way the baseball stitching is with the red. And just some food for thought, y'all, I am a big baseball fan, so this particular shoe definitely resonates with me a lot, so I'm glad to actually be talking about this pair with y'all. But nonetheless, it's time to get back in front of the camera to see how you guys are feeling about these. So yeah, after taking a look at this OG colorway right here, what are your initial thoughts and opinions on them? Now, for me personally, I love this particular shoe. This is definitely one of the best trainers that they came out with, especially during that time in the 90s when Ken Griffey Jr. was super explosive. Like, every time I think of Ken Griffey Jr., I watched so many games of his, but it was just this one game. Either I can't remember if it was 2007 or 2008, where he actually was playing for Cincinnati, and he went up against the Seattle Mariners, who actually drafted him in 1987. And what was going to be 2 home runs, he actually hit one, which was caught. But then the next one, it was undoubtedly a home run. So that game just always resonates with me. And plus, I am a big, huge MLB fan, y'all. Like, I love baseball. I even played baseball myself. So this shoe definitely resonates with me a lot. You know what I'm saying? And just, seeing so many people with this sneaker, having this sneaker in the past myself, like, this is just one of them shoes where, I personally feel I couldn't pass up on. Like I mentioned earlier on in the video, I did pass up on the other pair because it was just so much I was into grabbing around the time, but I did grab them this time around. And man, yeah, you can never go wrong with a trainer shoe like this, man. I just can't wait to throw these on, y'all. And I might even do it on feet for y'all. So I don't know. But feel free to let me know how y'all feel about these once again. With that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like. Make sure to hit that big subscribe button if you are new. More bangers will be on the way, so stay tuned. With that being said, you got your boy J-Jus. You got my thoughts and opinions and review on the Nike Air Griffey Max 1 Freshwaters. Such a dope, clean colorway, y'all. Man, oh man. But until next time, I love and appreciate you guys. Reach for the stars. Sky's the limit. And we out.